In the last year, we've helped over 250 clothing brands with their website conversion, optimizing their ads, refining strategies, and generating over 10 million more in revenue. And look, running a Shopify store can be daunting, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. So transforming it into a money machine is gonna require some planning, some consistent effort, and I guess, smart use of the right tools and resources. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the steps to maximize your store's potential. We're gonna go over how to set up your Shopify store for success, optimizing your product listings, and implementing effective marketing strategies. So let's talk about setting up your Shopify store for success. One of the first things that you'll probably encounter when setting up your store initially is choosing the right theme. And to be honest, we've made a lot of videos on choosing the right theme or theme recommendations that we have made ourselves. Now, the first impression matters, right? So choosing a clean, responsive, aesthetically pleasing theme that actually aligns with your brand is going to be absolutely crucial. Now, I think a lot of people get hung up on choosing the right theme, or we want the best theme. To be honest, I don't really think there's a best theme for everybody. Is really going to come down to the details, right? Do you care about if this theme is made in the US, or if it has 24/7 support, or does it have a Instagram feed feature included within the theme, right? You got to think about all those little details, because that's really what's going to differentiate some of these themes. At the end of the day, I truly believe 98% of all these themes in the Shopify theme store qualify as just amazing themes that will generate you bukus of money. There's no doubt in my mind. When we talk about themes and when we talk about starting out, the Dawn theme made by Shopify, it's free, very minimalistic, but it has all the right tools in order for you to grow your business. Now we're talking about paid. Right now, probably one of my favorites, it's got to be Stiletto. Lots of good features, lots of good things in it, and very dynamic, right, in what you can do with the theme. But now, if you're interested in watching just a whole video on themes, we have a couple, but you can probably check out one of these. Now, beyond just selecting the theme, you also want to customize your store, right? You want to make sure that it reflects your brand's unique voice, the style, and everything. So using either not custom fonts necessarily, but fonts that obviously align with your brand. So this is one of the first things that I tell people. It's don't use the default font that the theme comes with. Change things up a little. Change up the color schemes. Create that one-pager brand kit that outlines the font, the color, the logos, how to use the logos, any patterns, anything like that, that again will personalize that experience for your customers. Next up, you also want to think about the navigation. Navigation is, again, one of the first things that you start to focus when you build your website. And with the navigation, one of my biggest tips in here is to make sure that you provide multiple ways for the customer to find something. So if we think about normal sort of website navigation, it's you're shopping for men's tops, bottoms, and then women's tops, bottoms, and that's kind of like it. Now, a few things that I want you to do. Create a bestseller and create a new arrivals collection and have them linked towards the very top. Beyond that, I want you to think about other ways that your customer may search for tops, for example. Could they benefit from searching or seeing, right, some of these tops by style? Maybe you have long sleeve, short sleeve, buttons, no button, or maybe they want to shop by color, right? All these things are things that you can think about of your particular customer and seeing how they could benefit from just showcasing them multiple avenues to find some of the same products, right? Now beyond this, and after you have your core pages, right? Your home page, your collection page, and your product page. There's going to be some of the most crucial pages that you'll want to build within your store. But there are also some other essential pages within your website that will provide crucial information to the customer. And the other big thing here is build trust, right? So to me, some of these pages are going to be the about page. This is where you really want to share and highlight your mission, your brand story, who you are, why should I buy from you when I have a million other options online, right? You got to make sure that you differentiate yourself from other people. Next page is the contact us. You want to provide an easy way. This may sound a little bit redundant, but a lot of people don't include a simple contact page with a form, with a phone number, with an address, right? All these things legitimize your brand. It sends signals to my brain that says, okay, they have a legitimate physical address. They have a phone number that I can call, right? These things have been sort of taken by the wayside with technology and just being online, right? But the more more real to the physical world you can be, I think the better off you're going to be. Another page that I would highly encourage is FAQ. Like FAQ is a page that can include a lot of information about your brand and answer a lot of questions that your customers may have. And this is where FAQ as a page is great, but also FAQ sections throughout your website can also be great. I've seen FAQs, probably the most common location will be the product page, but within the product page, you want to address frequently asked questions about that particular product maybe, or if you're going to do those within there, it could be more regarding shipping and returns. These are all things that I would include within the website to, again, increase that trust factor on your store. And then something else, like lately, for some reason, a lot of people are not even doing it. They don't even care about it. And it's policies. You need to have clear outline, shipping, return, privacy, terms of use, like all these things need to be in place and they need to be on your Shopify store. Obviously, Shopify gives you a very easy way for you to create a template. And then from there, they actually even give you the instructions, like go through this, change this. If you have triple whale, Google Analytics, make sure that you mention those within your policy. To be honest, like there's a lot of people that don't have these, and you have to have policies. You have to have them linked at the footer of your store. Now, something I do want to mention as well is, and this is more part of the overall process for the customer. It's not necessarily, you're still setting up your store at this stage, but offering fast and reliable shipping is going to make or break your company. So offering multiple shipping options and ensuring that whatever time estimates you have, that you are very close to delivering on those, because again, that's gonna determine whether a customer will come back to your store to shop with you or not, is how fast and reliable your shipping and also part of your returns process is going to be, right? I will probably be more likely to shop at a store that I know that I can return things versus one that doesn't offer returns or offers a very limited view on what I can do as a customer to return my products, right? You really want to make it easy. And for clothing stores, unfortunately, it's just part of the game, right? A lot of the big players are doing it where it's just free shipping, free returns. Obviously, you can set up some parameters and some things in here, but you have to include good shipping and good returns. Couple tips in here as well is making sure that you can use Route. Route is a tool that allows you to see some of the estimates and the tracking information for your customers. But I would also say that with Shopify and their Shop Pay integrations, they've also provided tools for tracking the orders and just making it a little bit easier for customers to kind of see the stage of where they're at. So I would highly encourage you to look into something like Route. Other tools like ShipStation could also provide just better incentives. You're now shying a little bit away from actual Shopify shipping, but may give you some better tools for your business. Now, the last thing that I want you to laser focus on this stage is the excellent customer service. You have to provide top-notch customer support to actually build loyal and trustworthy customers. Like it's one of those things where you have to be present. I think a lot of people tend to complain about how time-consuming it can be, but you have to do it. Like you have to provide, my suggestion, provide a chat that customers can actually just very quickly ask about their orders, potentially ask about a product. Like I said, put your phone number in there. Even if it's a different business line phone number where it's not your actual direct number, but doing something like that and having the ability to even just send a quick text message to the brand, like that's a no-brainer. But I think a lot of people shy away from doing stuff like that. One, you probably don't see this a whole lot out there, right? The ability to just text a brand and be able to get some responses. But doing those little things or going above and beyond when it comes to customer service is the right thing to do. Obviously, other tips, just making sure that you're responding within a certain time, make sure that you're actually resolving their issues, and then going above and beyond in the packaging process as well, right? Like doing the handwritten notes, right? Looking at maybe some of your top customers that they've spent a lot of money. So it's not just about being reactionary about their prompts or their questions. It's also being more proactive, right? About some of the best customers that you have in your store. Hey, I encourage you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out a lot. We release new videos twice a week, every week. Now, the second thing I want you to do is optimize your product listings, right? We've gone through setting up our website and some of the best practices with our website. Now, still within the website, right? It's optimizing your product listings. This is something that I always say a lot. The product page is going to be the most important page on your website. So let's talk about that. Number one, high quality images and videos. Shopify has made it now where you don't necessarily have to go through the process of compressing down your images in your videos. Right now, what they're telling us is upload the highest quality images that you have and we'll take care of the rest, right? So, and that is absolutely amazing because they take care of compressing the images in the back end so you don't have to worry about doing it in the front end. So your focus, the business owner, is to upload high quality images and videos. Don't forget about the videos part. Because if you are already doing photo shoots, doing just a quick glance video of this particular product could be something that you can do very, very easily. It doesn't have to be super polished, but having the ability to see the product in motion is going to speak volumes, right? It's going to do a lot more than just doing images. Images and photography in general, like visuals, and I said this a lot, it's going to be very, very critical for e-commerce stores. Like high quality images, high quality videos, like all this stuff can really significantly enhance the product appeal and use. So making sure that you have multiple angles of the product, make sure that either you do zoom imagery or the theme has zoom capabilities built in within it. And also don't forget about lifestyle images. I think lifestyle images have a great way to, again, enhance the overall aesthetic of the website. So not only on their product page, but using it on the homepage, using it on the FAQ page, like you have the ability to create this story just from images. So absolutely, images are going to be one of the most important things on your website. Now, once we have our imagery in place, next up is to have good product description, right? Writing clear, persuasive, detailed product descriptions that you highlight key product features and benefits, it's going to be super important. So using bullet points for clarity is, I think it's absolutely a must. A good example of a product page that I think does a great job of breaking these down is Midjewelry. So they are a jewelry company, but they do a good job of having 3 different drop downs for materials, for the description, and then sort of like the key benefits of each of their products. And they do a good job of one of them being a paragraph just describing the product, the next one being the actual bullet points for clarity, and then going more into the materials of that particular product. So these are all things that I would highly suggest doing for your store. Obviously, breaking it down like that with 3 different drop downs just helps with clarity overall. It also helps with giving the customer sort of a bite-sized pieces, right, of information, and not just doing 2-3 paragraphs of information within their product description, which unfortunately I have seen in the past, and it's just not a good look. You want to make sure that it's easy to scan when someone is just very quickly looking at this product. And sure, they're probably not going to spend a whole time, reading through your descriptions and the benefits and all that kind of stuff, but it's going to be very, very important, not just for them and for the people who actually read it, but for SEO purposes as well. And then quick little tidbit here too, having size guides is also absolutely crucial, and having size guides close to where the size selector actually is another best practice that we recommend for every clothing brand out there. Now, part of your product page as well is going to be your customer reviews and rating, right? Social proof can significantly impact purchasing decisions. So this is one of those things where I'm baffled by a lot of brands out there that have absolutely 0 reviews on their product pages. You want to give off the impression that you have happy customers, that me as a consumer going here for the first time, like I'm not the very first one to purchase from you. Like, people like to purchase from brands that are popular, right? Or brands that have a good impact, right, on some customers. So knowing and seeing those reviews here within their product page is absolutely crucial. Something that I would highly recommend for you to do is enable a reviews app, something like a Judge Me. And even if you don't have reviews right now for that particular product, still have a dedicated section where you can highlight reviews from other products in your store. Again, the idea here is that you're providing some form of social proof within your product page. Now, on to our third thing that you want to make sure that you do, or that you optimize for your brand, and that's implementing effective marketing strategies. And I always like to start with email marketing because email is, I think, one of the most cost-effective ways to engage with your customers and drive sales. Like, it's mind-boggling how many people don't use email marketing. And it's very easy to get started with email marketing. Obviously, Shopify provides Shopify email where you can set up to 10,000 emails per month for free. You don't have to pay a dime on any of this. And it allows you to communicate with your customers or potential customers. So email marketing, by far, one of those platforms where I think is underutilized and people are not taking advantage, right, of even how cost effective it can be. Now, a couple things here, or tips. Make sure that your pop-up has a good, compelling offer. You know, we usually see the 10 to 20% off. Something that we've actually seen recently work really well is going to be a mystery offer. So it's really not sharing what the offer is going to be, but leaving it as a mystery. It's one of those things where it gives so much curiosity to the customer. Like, I want to know what this offer is going to be, so they're more inclined to go through and insert their email address, right? So doing something like that with your pop-up is going to be absolutely crucial. Something else that you want to make sure that you do is that you segment your email list for targeted campaigns. Once you start collecting all these email addresses, trying to figure out exactly, you know, especially if you offer men's and women's or kids clothing, right? There's a wide variety of people that will probably be getting your emails. So doing more targeted campaigns, personalizing that experience is one thing that I think, you know, it becomes maybe a little bit more advanced, but if you want a true Shopify money-making machine, these are the things that you have to do in the back end. So we got email marketing, obviously, social media marketing. You have to build a strong presence on social media platforms to actually reach a wider audience. It's one of those things where you have to pay to play, right? Like you have to get into actually spending some money on social media in order to be a good, profitable business. Obviously, you know, you want to use organic. You want to have a good content strategy in the back end. And that to me will probably be number one. But running ads and engaging with your audience, going through multiple sales channels like a Facebook, a TikTok, and Instagram is absolutely crucial. Now, if you're interested in more in-depth social media strategy, I recommend watching some of my business partners' videos, Aaron, here on this channel, where he talks about how to really blow up with Facebook, TikTok, etc. Lastly, when it comes to marketing, and I talked a little bit about it here before, it's the content marketing, right? It's creating valuable content that can drive traffic and build brand authority. This is one of those things that I think a lot of people tend to maybe forget about or not do a whole lot maybe initially. It's one of those things where it's free, you know, you're just creating content, right? I mean, it's not free, but it's not like you have to pay Facebook or pay Instagram or whatever, you know, to create content. You just create the content and you post it. But you can also do content on platforms like YouTube or even your own website. When you can do blogging, you can do fashion tips, industry trends, styling advice. When it comes to YouTube and creating video content, you can create lookbooks behind the scenes. You can even do tutorials, you know, with your clothing. Like there's really a lot of opportunity when it comes to content creation that I think a lot of people are not taking advantage of. And again, this is another piece of the puzzle, right? If your goal is to make this money printing machine work and, you know, all cylinders firing, then content marketing and creating this is going to be absolutely crucial. And you may be thinking about it as it's a play on getting more people, you know, more eyeballs to your business. But at the end of the day, this will help you on potentially having content for your product page. This will help you have content for your ads. This will help you, you know, there's infinitely more things that you can do with content than I think anything else that we have talked about so far. So to me, this is almost like I said a piece of the puzzle, but it's also like a building block, right, of your business. Because at the end of the day, and I think I've heard this from several of our clothing store owners, like, you're not just a clothing store owner, you're a content creator, right? A lot of good brand owners are also content creators, and maybe they're not necessarily creating the content themselves, but they're the mastermind behind the brand in order to show in front of their actual customers. Now, if you're interested in the social media marketing, if you're interested in a formula that can work for your clothing brand, then I encourage you to watch this video next, which will walk you through the actual formula to make money on ads.